Blood moon alert, Cancer. There's a blood moon, the fourth in the tetrad of the 4 blood moons, that's going to occur on the 27th. It's a total lunar eclipse, or the 28th, depending on whether you're using Eastern Daylight Time or Greenwich Mean Time, respectively. And this blood moon is going to occur in the sign of Aries the Ram, and that's very intense. Because Aries the Ram, that's, of course, Aries is the god of war. That's a martial energy. It's a lot of aggressive, I'm going to tell you what to do kind of energy. So this is going to be a time when a lot of people feel like they might want to force other people to do this or that. So this is a time we want to use this energy to sublimate it in such a way that it becomes efficiency and productivity rather than becoming just destructive, angry energy. Now the new moon on the 13th is a partial solar eclipse, and that's the sign of Virgo the Virgin. That's a little bit more reserved and more of a calming energy. So that kind of helps. And also the equinox, the autumn equinox on the 23rd is the ingress of the sun out of Virgo into the sign of the scales, Libra, which is a balanced sign. And that helps too. Again, to balance energies and soothe these kind of angry martial energies that might come up. And that ingress happens early in the morning of the 23rd. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of the moon, and yes, the moon was considered a planet, as was the sun in the ancient systems. Let's see how your ruling planet of the moon is going to affect you this month, Cancer. I'm Pastor Rosemond, Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your mighty guardian angel Gabriel, who resides and rules over all of the water signs, and your specific Cancer angel Muriel, who resides over your cardinal water nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. Later on in the transmission, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a formula, a planetary formula, and we're going to use the blood moon on the 27th, and then we're going to give you the answer in this Rosicrucian Kabbalistic formula so you can see how some of these things are done. Just be a little fun, again, planetary formula and astrological formula from Rosicrucian Kabbalah so that you can just see how those are done and utilize those however you see fit. Because they're fun. They're like mathematical problems. Oh, okay. Again, we'll put that at the end, where we put the afterglow at the end. Now, your love life. What's going to go on in your love life? You're going to need to stay in your comfort zone. You're going to want to take a chance. You feel like you want to take a chance. And you want to maybe take a little chance if you can't take a big chance. That's, again, because of the blood moon and the blood moon in Aries and all the other extremely energetic events going on this month. So you need to remember that you need to stay in your comfort zone, because the tendency, again, will be for retribution or vengeance or just aggression, where I'm going to force you to do this, that, or the other thing. And we're not saying that you're going to do that to others or others to you necessarily. That's the general energy that's going to come from everyone. And of course it will affect people depending upon where their Mars is in their chart and where their moon is in their chart. But nevertheless, this energy will be coming through. How you will do best during this time will be to stay in your comfort zone. There will be plenty of excitement. You don't really need to search for excitement. There'll be plenty of exciting things and exciting occurrences and people, holding various events. Because again, this is a time when there are so many different cultures and religions and systems that are coming together to have things be celebrated. You really don't need to look for any kind of negative behavior. Things don't have to be bad or destructive or painful for them to be significant. They can also be positive and beneficial and be significant. Truth doesn't always equal something must be bad. Truth ultimately is to equal all goodness and all delight. It's not supposed to equal something horrible that you hate. And our lives are how to work that out between the will to bestow and the will to receive, and the great separation that occurred at the beginning of this universe. In this universe, we are all the collective soul. And we're becoming more and more of a singularity. And we'll get into that more here in a minute, because the singularity between humans and their technology, be they inner spiritual technologies or external scientific technologies, are bringing us to our technological tipping point, our technological singularity. Now, if you go more and more within, there is no end to it. It's only when you try to go outside of the self where you find an end to things. But there's no end. Eternity is inside. That's all that's in there is eternity. Inside of this box that we consider that we're imprisoned in our five senses. And all of our technologies, again, be they inner spiritual alchemies or be they external forms of science and instrumentation, these things are used to try to find that sixth sense to see out of our box. So what you don't want to do is get too far out of your comfort zone, because then you'll be disoriented in September. And you don't want to seek revenge, because then you'll miss the fun. You want to stay within the confines of your friends, your significant others, your spouses, your normal romantic interests, your family, and you'll do much better in September. It's just not a good month for you to try to take such a big chance, or even a little chance, just unless you want to take the consequences. And then that's what will happen. So just understand cause and effect. Now this brings us to the financial aspect. This is the same message. Because money is a talisman. People, they say that money is the root of all evil, and they show you that there's, like they say, what is an Egyptian pyramid doing on the dollar bill? It's been there forever, but it's obviously a magical seal. It's a high magic seal. You can say it's like some kind of craft. I mean, everything's some kind of craft. Building anything is a craft. Carpentry is a craft. Masonry is a craft. So is mathematics. Everything is a craft, an art, a craft. It's something you do. So the talismans that are on money are very powerful, obviously. They run everybody's lives. They just give you a piece of paper and say, I promise. Oh, well, it's actually linen and cotton, but they give you this cloth, and they say, I promise I'll give you all this gold. You just have to believe me. And if I ever try to give you the gold, you have to just believe me that it's actually gold all the way through. Don't you dare drill down in there to find out if it's really all gold all the way through. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What bigger magic is there than that? In this entire financial system that we have. So it doesn't matter whether you're using the internet and you're using digital money. It doesn't matter, because it says www. It's the World Wide Web, and that's 666 because it's the Hebrew letter valve, valve, valve. It's 666. So if they say, well, we're going to use the enemy's tools against them, well, then you're doing witchcraft. So everybody just stop looking for what someone else is doing and just look at what you're doing and live up to your own standards. Control yourself, lest others control you. If you want to do something, then you need to take the consequences, because there's consequences for everything. And those are not going to lighten up. Those are going to intensify. And now we're going to get into the issue about CERN. CERN is a device that enables humans to go deeper into inner and outer space. CERN is a device that goes beyond, because in 2012, the Higgs boson was discovered with, utilizing CERN. I'm sure there were all kinds of different associations involved, but something did happen in 2012. But it was positive, because we already broke up the atom. We already discovered subatomic particles. We already split the atom. That was already done a long time ago. Now they're figuring out how to put things back together. Because what can you do when you can put things back together? You can print out internal organs, so you don't have to chop them out of other people to stick them in you. This is where, as soon as you understand that these are the capabilities that are coming through, and you can accept it, then we can start doing positive things with the technology. Because this is a singularity that we've created with our inner technology and our external technology. Religion is an attempt to understand Kabbalah. That's all. And Kabbalah is the marriage, supper of the Lamb, which is kind of what we're going to be celebrating in unison as a collective soul, all of humanity, on the 23rd. So this singularity with our technology is what we're doing in September. We're taking all these events, and these are important points, and we're that much closer to the singularity. September is a singularity. Then at one point we'll have one day where it's a singularity. But September 2015 is a singularity. CERN is on in September. They're utilizing it. I think they had it resting for a while before that. It rests every now and then, as everything must. So, understand that we're all going to have a lot more energy. We need to be more efficient. And you'll find that everybody is more efficient. And because the social media is causing everybody to be more efficient, and we're all being a bit homogenized. But that's okay. It's a necessary part of all this. So again, now we're learning we've learned how to tear matter apart, because now we can pull in antimatter. And that's non-existence. And so we have matter existence and non-existence antimatter. And the individuals and the groups and the persons that are manipulating matter and antimatter, this person must indeed feel like God, because did God not create existence and non-existence? Much greater minds than this brain have figured all of this out and are utilizing it. Now we have internal technologies we've used forever, like the spiritual alchemy of using the inner Hebrew letters of Aleph, Shin, and Mem, and those can be moved around. And these are how the inner alchemists have done these types of exercises for a very long time. And then we take our left brain and we go outside the body and we try to do it with machines and technology that's outside the body. And then we try to join them. And again, Kabbalah is a joining, a marriage of science and spirituality. And religion was an attempt to do that, yes. But religion is being tamed so that people can keep their culture and keep their religion, but also get along on the globe, so everybody can get along globally, to think locally and act globally. Let's all get together and globally fight against the globalists, that kind of thing. You understand. We're joining up no matter what. It's just everybody thinks they have an idea about what's the best way to deal with that. All humans are connected. Now we go to the next phase. When it comes to your health transmission from Muriel, his message for you this month is this. It's simple, but it's important. You may feel that treatments work up to a point and they don't work anymore, whatever, whether it's a treatment for a flu or whatever you got, or a heart condition or whatever. Whatever. You feel that the treatment stops working after a while. You feel, but this happens in everything in life if you pay attention. It happens with everything because people get bored and say, oh, it doesn't work anymore. And this is best described by Sun Tzu in The Art of War, if I may indulge in this quote by Sun Tzu from The Art of War. Engage people with what they expect. It is what they are able to discern and confirms their projections. A lot of what we experience is our projections. I was just adding there, ad-libbing. Okay, back to the quote. It settles them into predictable patterns of response, occupying their minds while you wait for the extraordinary moment. That which they cannot anticipate. Again, let me read that without me interjecting my ad-lib. Okay, this is the direct quote from Sun Tzu. It's so deep, we need to say it again. And this will suffice for everything this month. Engage people with what they expect. It is what they are able to discern and confirms their projections. It settles them into predictable patterns of response, occupying their minds while you wait for the extraordinary moment, that which they cannot anticipate. With that, we'll tell you that if you have any health problems, see your licensed physician. And we'll move into the planetary aspects and facets portion where we're going to give you the Rosicrucian formula, the Rosicrucian Kabbalistic formula. Again, the blood moon is on the 27th or 28th Eastern Daylight Time, Greenwich Mean Time, respectively. That's the total lunar eclipse. The blood moon in Aries. On the 13th, we have the new moon in Virgo. That's a partial solar eclipse. The blood moon is the full moon. On the 27th, that's the problem we're going to give you. Okay, full moon in Aries, the total lunar eclipse, the blood moon, trine, Saturn in Sagittarius. What does that give you? Here's what we got for that. The total effects of these events this month, these events we just highlighted for you, these three primary events in September, the new moon, the equinox, and the blood moon, are going to cause things to occur where the dimensions are breached and odd phenomena will be witnessed. But news agencies, governments, whatnot, are going to clamp down on their people and clamp down on what they're going to let people see. So if you want to know what's going on, you need to do a little bit of searching, like study somebody else's, like from somebody else's country. Look at their news. And don't just right off the bat say, oh, that must be silly. If it's not from my country, it's all silly. No, see, everything is going to be true. You have to be smart enough to make it all make sense. And that's when you'll understand what's going on. But there will be odd events. Paranormal activity will come through because of the singularity of these events merging in September. Again, September is singularity, not one particular day, but the month, yes, 2015. And perhaps we'll have a day or a week, maybe in 2016 when it's a week, and then 2017 when it's a day, something like that. Something like that. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. This has been your Angelic Horoscope transmission for the sign of Cancer from your guardian angel Muriel and from the holy guardian angel Gabriel. I'm Pastor Rosamund, Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next month.